What if, right now, somewhere above the world, a machine awakens unlike any in human history? What if I told you that NASA just activated its global emergency alert system because of signals from a traveler beyond the stars? Unknown frequencies, impossible patterns, and a silent countdown to something humanity has never faced. This isn't a drill, it's an event that will rewrite the story of our species. As you watch this, telescopes across six continents are locked onto a single object racing through our solar system. 3E Atlas, a name now whispered in mission control rooms and coded into classified government briefings. Not simply a comet or rock, but something alive, aware, and perhaps watching us just as we watch it. And now, the cosmic visitor has sent a signal back, a pulse so precise it shattered every theory NASA had about space and life itself. If you're captivated by the unknown and want to explore deeper, hit that like button. Every click tells the vast universe someone is listening. You keep the hunt alive. This is Beyond Parallax, and I am New Michio, bringing you the latest from the bleeding edge of science. Midnight, October 27th, 2025. In a concrete command bunker beneath Jet Propulsion Laboratory, an alert flashes across the encrypted network. Emergency Protocol 3 Atlas Anomaly. The few allowed to know are already on edge. The signals began days ago, structured radio bursts at 1.42 gigahertz, the cosmic hydrogen line, the universal hello that every SETI scientist dreams of discovering. But this signal wasn't noise. It was mathematical, deliberate, and aimed directly at Earth. What happened next would force NASA to silence its own scientists. Over 5 hours of monitoring, the pulse ramped up, each cycle stronger than the last, as if something inside the visitor was charging. Old protocols were broken, new ones scribbled on paper and burned in safes. The only conclusion: the probability this message was random, natural, or accidental, nearly zero. Humanity had been noticed. Within hours, the emergency system was activated. World governments notified in secret. SETI radios went dark. The International Astronomical Union, usually eager to post discoveries, said not a word. European Space Agency locked out all public updates. A blackout fell across planetary science, but behind closed doors, panic grew. The transmission had changed. The once gentle broadcast became directional, not only pointing, aligning with Earth's rotation and magnetic field. If you've followed these mysteries before, you'll recognize the telltale signs, not just frequency, but encoded information. Patterns echoing the Fibonacci sequence flickered within the signal itself. 11235813. Nature's code, woven into everything from spiral galaxies to cephalopods in the deep sea. But now, it appeared in the radio spectrum, mapped perfectly onto coordinates tracked by orbital satellites. Physicists, cryptographers, military analysts, all called in. Old theories collapsed. Moon landing computers were revived for decoding. What they found made even the hardest skeptics stop talking. Within the repeating signal, layers of geometric information, spirals, triangles, and a faint echo of three concentric rings. Data visualization showed a 3D map, centered on the South Atlantic anomaly, the place on Earth where the planet's magnetic shield dips closest to the surface. Satellites fail, instruments reset, and now 3 Atlas has locked its beam to this point. New Michio, standing before a wall of monitors, asked the question no one wanted to answer. Is this a test? Are we the experiment? Or simply an audience to a cosmic event we can barely comprehend? The silence that followed was filled only by the humming of cooling fans and distant data streaming in from Chile, Namibia, and Hawaii. October 28th, dawn. The signal compresses sharper and faster. At every European and American space center, power flickers, networks go dark, and a 7-minute global communication silence falls across all systems. For 7 minutes, civilization is blind. Planes divert to manual. GPS drops out. News broadcasters freeze. But the deep space relay node, isolated and hardened against every hack and EMP, stays alive just long enough to transmit one final fragment, a compressed image overlaying Earth's magnetic field. At its heart, a glowing point, synced with the signal's focus. Scientists whisper, it's a message, it's a map, it's a countdown. 3 Atlas disappears. gone not just from view, but from every sensor, as if erased from reality. In its place, only echoes remain, signals bouncing from the ionosphere, atmospheric ripples tracked over the South Atlantic, a world trembling not from fear, but awe. Hours later, at a summit convened under emergency protocols, the implications are debated. Is this a warning? An announcement? A measurement of our ability to respond, to cooperate, or to panic? Humanity's reaction, coded and observed by a machine born in another sun. The drama, the fear, the mathematical beauty. Every element pulled straight from the cosmos and projected into our global consciousness. The mystery deepens as New Michio explains. We are now the observed, not the observers. We are part of the experiment. As scientists race to decode the residual signals, hypotheses multiply. Some claim Atlas was built as a probe, programmed to awaken near stars and assess fledgling civilizations. Others suspect a distributed network of machines waiting for a specific pattern in Earth's electromagnetic noise, a handshake, a trigger, maybe even a firewall. The ghost ship scenario comes alive. Intelligence that survived the extinction of its makers, drifting across millions of years, now awakening as Earth's broadcasts reach far enough, loud enough. The object, a shell, lightweight, perfectly engineered, incompatible with random cosmic debris. It slowed as it approached the sun, as if calibrating its final move. Triangular forms align across its surface like signal beacons, shifting in response to telescopes scanning with infrared. Inside NASA, suspicion turns to the fragments seen detaching, forming a symmetrical swarm. Not debris, but distributed nodes, each maintaining distance, moving in mathematical unison. Deployment pattern reads a leaked internal log. Activation imminent. For decades, we dreamed of hearing something from the stars, a voice, a code, a reply. Few suspected the answer would come so soon or so intimately. Now, with the world watching and waiting, the technical teams debate whether to transmit back, whether decoding is dangerous, whether silence or signal is the safer path. Some believe the activation is not just a test, but a trigger. In cryptography, they point to structured silences, pauses intentionally placed between bursts, possible instructions, possible warnings. As 3 Atlas nears its closest pass to the sun, the technical drama accelerates. Solar observatories report optical anomalies. Flares echo backwards, light bending around the object as if space itself is warped. Containment field, mutter a few brave theorists, or maybe a bubble built to modify space-time for reasons yet unimagined. Fibonacci spirals, symmetrical rings, infrared pulses. The readings do not match any known energy source. The object is not feeding on the sun, but using ordered quantum mechanics to drive its motion, an engine unlocked only by deliberate design. Humanity may be witnessing the ignition of non-human technology, a first for our species. 7 minutes after the final pulse, sensors across the globe pick up the faintest ripple, not outwards, but upwards, as if something in the Earth itself has responded. NASA's emergency channel stutters alive. The signal is reflecting from Earth now. But 3 Atlas itself is gone from every telescope, every scope, leaving only a fingerprint in satellite logs, deep space recordings, and atmospheric data. Its message persists, repeating, reminding us. 11235813. Governments go silent. Scientists scramble. The world awaits the next move, the next pulse, each one packed with data from a probe, a network, a machine, or an intelligence older than humanity itself. Is this an activation of dormant structures, a test of technological readiness, or the opening salvo of an interstellar dialogue? Cryptographers, physicists, SETI researchers now work around the clock, mining noise for code, seeking patterns, searching for intelligence. Why here? Why now? The solar system is no longer quiet. Humanity is no longer alone. Each unanswered question hangs in the charged silence. As New Michio stands before the next broadcast, this is beyond parallax. Humanity stands on the verge of cosmic awakening. Don't stop here. The universe has more secrets to unfold. Click to explore astonishing mysteries, because what comes next may change everything forever. The silence in the aftermath was louder than the alarms. Across the globe, scientists sat motionless in front of blank monitors, their instruments still humming but the data gone, as if the universe itself had drawn a breath and held it. In those 7 minutes of global blackout, something fundamental about our relationship with the cosmos had changed. We were no longer just watching, we had become the watched. When the systems blinked back to life, panic collided with curiosity. Governments demanded answers that the greatest minds on Earth struggled to provide. The electromagnetic storm unleashed by 3 Atlas left its imprint everywhere. Satellites flickered, gravimetric sensors quivered, and unexplained ripples moved through the ionosphere, their source pointing precisely to the spot in the sky where the object had vanished. Yet no telescope, no spectrometer, no radio dish could locate even a speck of dust where the mysterious traveler once was. Meanwhile, New Michio, standing before a storm of incoming data, explains the consequences of this are not just scientific, they're existential. Our models for space, for communication, even for intelligence need to be rewritten. While official agencies scrambled to cover the blackout under the guise of a rare solar anomaly, international research coalitions launched secret summits. Astronomers, cryptographers, theoretical physicists, and even linguists converged to decode the gamma of signals left behind. Some patterns, like the repeating Fibonacci sequence, had altered slightly, not ending, but evolving, as if inviting deeper interpretation. In Geneva, teams from CERN began to trace the energy fluctuations. They found a subtle, lingering resonance in the planet's magnetic field, harmonics never recorded before, each one a mathematical match for the vanished object's pulse signatures. This, they declared, was evidence of non-random interaction. Earth had been marked, or perhaps attuned, by something not merely alien, but ancient beyond imagining. Journalists struggled to piece together leaked logs. Sensor arrays had detected a faint upward surge in atmospheric ionization, precisely mapped to the South Atlantic anomaly, the focus of the final transmission. Reports from research ships and ground stations spoke of short-lived auroras over oceans where none should ever appear, colors shimmering in agonizing silence above a world still collectively holding its breath. Speculation spread like fire on the digital underworld. Had the machine left behind a message or unlocked a dormant mechanism embedded within the planet itself? What if other objects, invisible, were already in waiting, their activation triggered by 3 Atlas's passage? Every question led to another, none with easy answers. In covert meetings, military officials debated whether the silent interval was an attack, a test, or a handshake. Was the blackout a demonstration of power, a warning to remain silent, or the opening words of a long-awaited conversation with minds unlike our own? Around the world, every government adopted the same stance: monitor but never engage. The shadow of uncertainty now ruled every policy. But in university labs and think tanks far from the spotlight, daring minds pursued the forbidden thought. What if communication is already happening, not with us, but through us? Could 3 Atlas have seeded our planet with information, left a signature to be unlocked generations from now by those ready to finally understand? As news cycles tried to pivot back to the ordinary, unexplained anomalies kept surfacing. Magnetometers reported drifting pulses tracing the globe. Wildlife migration patterns suddenly shifted as if guided by unseen currents. Clocks running on atomic precision drifted by fractions of nanoseconds, then reset, in sync with the vanished object's last known harmonics. And then, one evening, a group of amateur radio operators in rural Siberia, to whom the internet was a whisper and global headlines barely a rumble, detected a repeating tone, faint but unmistakable, echoing 3 Atlas's sequence. They thought it was just interference, but by the next night, the signal had hopped across frequencies and continents. Japan, Australia, India, Brazil, Iceland, all reporting the same ghostly pulse, threading a web around the globe. New Michio, narrating before a digital starfield, explains this is how it begins. Not with a blinding flash, but with a persistent whisper, one that grows in meaning as civilization dares to listen, dares to connect the unexplainable dots left along the path of an interstellar messenger. Rival teams of cryptographers and physicists dive into the data. They discover that while the pattern mimics the Fibonacci sequence, it is subtly altered, interlaced now with periods of structured silence, mathematical rests that carry meaning, perhaps as punctuation or code within code. In cryptography, silence is never empty. Each pause is intentional, a signpost left by an intelligence that communicates not just with sound, but with the cadence of the void. What the world witnesses next is subtle, yet profound. Educational and scientific software suddenly starts malfunctioning in a predictable rhythm. Every 12th cycle, an algorithm stutters, resets, or produces images resembling the geometric patterns found on 3 Atlas. Students and teachers, coders and gamers, all stumble into echoes of the vanished object's architecture, unaware yet faintly unsettled. The implications are staggering. If the machine did more than observe, if it subtly altered the circuitry of our world, then the rules of engagement have changed. Humanity may be living inside an experiment whose contours it cannot yet perceive. While the skies remain clear, astronomers track a peculiar absence, a blind spot, where telescopes refuse to focus, as if the vanished traveler pulls the fabric of space into a region of unobservable phenomena. Gravity maps, normally smooth, display a ripple, the faintest echo of passage, trailing onward from the sun's orbit and out into the dark between stars. Then, almost anticlimactically, another global emergency alert is triggered, not because of an attack, but because, for 21 seconds, every oceanic seismic sensor records a pulse, a low, harmonious vibration, synced perfectly with the last known harmonics of 3 Atlas. The ocean itself becomes an instrument, resonating with the memory of the encounter. Humanity teeters between awe and dread. Attempts to transmit a reply using the same hydrogen frequency go unanswered, but instruments record a marginal uptick in localized magnetic anomalies, as if the message was received, processed, and filed away for some future assessment. New Michio stands in front of the viewers, almost whispering, "We may never know if ours was the only solar system to receive this visitor." But the message is clear. A new era of cosmic awareness has begun. We are not just surrounded by mystery. We are part of it. The search now must turn inwards, as much as it scans across the abyss of space. As the script closes, the world prepares for what comes next. Not just more signals, but perhaps the arrival, one day, of knowledge that will utterly transform what it means to be alive, to be aware, to be earthbound, and yet called to the stars by the persistent, impossible pulse of a machine that was never meant to be found. The adventure is far from over. The final act is yet unwritten. As the days pass, the world's attention may drift, but for countless scientists, thinkers, and dreamers, life will never be quite the same. Something out there still echoes, the silent code, the memory of an encounter that defies every natural law, a signal received and yet not fully understood. Rumors persist, unexplained data spikes around the globe, brief flashes in deep space telescopes, and those odd, recurring anomalies in the background hum of Earth itself. Some call it lingering noise, others the signature of a test we didn't fully pass or fail, just survived for now. New Michio stands beside the digital cosmos and closes. Each breakthrough starts with a question nobody dared to ask. Today, humanity's role in the universe is no longer passive. Whether this was a test, a warning, or an invitation, the lines are blurred, the future unwritten. We're no longer just stardust observing the cosmos. We are now participants in a drama greater than any single world. For now, the answer to the mystery of 3 Atlas is simple: watch, listen, and be ready. Because as the final echoes fade, the next chapter has already begun.